So let's take a look through the starting grid for the opening race out of 37 here. So Minimax Race 1, Heat 1, A versus B. Maxime Becker and Jakub Gasparovic on the front row. Denny Babicek and Jacob Ashcroft, row 2. Carlos Nies and Boris Maximov, row 3. Ryan Rivers and Jensen Chalk complete row 4. And completing the top 10, it's an all-British row 5 with James Roberts and Henry Domain. Yuri Levar and Jakub Kubera, row 6. And then we got Majus Messinas and Len Abbas on row 7. Row 8, Daniel Minto and Leopold Jour. Prokor Solokortsev and Christian Stefanov, row 9. Gleb Solovov and Alec Brandsborg rounding out the top 20, and Joachim Ottersen and Jaroslav Matrenin rounding out the 22-strong car. And also, thank you very much to Dave Robinson. Brandon Carr, this year's Motorsport UK British Kart Championship Junior Rotax champion, turned 16 yesterday, so many happy returns to one of the KR Sport camp. So any more birthday shout-outs that people can think of this week or over the course of the weekend, let me know. If you can, if you want to connect with me on Facebook, or give us a message through the Rotax Max Euro Trophy Facebook or Instagram pages. The drivers now have had their sighting lap as we now go on to the official formation lap, and I see on our official YouTube channel over 165 people watching, so thank you very much for joining us. So Maxime Becker was the quickest in Group A, which is the faster group, and Jakub Gasparovic got to within 1/10 of a second in qualifying. But, as I say, it's times for show, points to go. Because the higher up the order you are in karting, it's a bit different to, like, say, traditional motorsport, ladies and gentlemen, that are new to karting, that the higher up the grid you are, the less points you score. So with the glare coming off of the circuit around the Europlan between turn 6 and 7, and also here as the field making its way out of turn number 9. So 7 minutes set on the time, and the red lights ignited on the starting gantry for the first of 37 races for the 2022 Rotax Max Challenge Euro Golden Trophy. We're in for some great racing. So Becker, Gasparovic, front row. Babicek, Ashcroft, Nies, Maximov, Rivers, Chalk, Robertson, Domain. That is your top 10. They now make their way to the 12th and 15 for Brandon Carr. Sorry there, thank you, David, for correcting me. Right, here we go. Drivers under starters' orders out of the final corner. Revs rise into the tram lines. Are we ready? Are we steady? We are underway for the first race here at the Golden Trophy, and a good start by Maxime Becker. Jakub Gasparovic has got Denny Babicek looking up the inside. Around the outside of them is Jacob Ashcroft at the moment. He's trying to go for P2, and he's actually got the lead using the runoff area. We have had a little bit of a turnaround. That was the 1-1-8 of Jensen Chalk. But Ashcroft has got the lead, but he's having to battle for it through turn number 5 as they make their way through into turn 6. Ashcroft taking the tighter line, as is the likes of Denny Babicek. Looks like Jakub Gasparovic might be getting a little bit of an initial lead coming down the Europlan for the first time. Side by side, multiple points up and down the order. And Ashcroft trying to go for the over-under. Not able to do that yet. Bit of a cluster going through into turn 8, nearly 3 abreast at points. As they now make their way through turn 9 for the first time. Some drivers making a real good opportunity because someone has just shot up from 5th to 3rd position through turn 9 and keeps it pinned to the outside. That might have been Boris Maximov. As they come through, it was actually Henry Domain. Brilliant overtake there from Henry Domain, 2 for the price of 1, but the race lead is very much being contested. It is Jacob Ashcroft looking up the inside. He's going to get the race lead from Jakub Gasparovic as we complete the opening lap. So Jacob Ashcroft, Jakub Gasparovic, Henry Domain, Denny Babicek, pole setter Maxime Becker down to 5th. Yuri Levar, Boris Maximov, Jakub Kubera, Carlos Nies and Majus Messinas ran at the top 10 positions. But a great move there from Henry Domain in the outskirts of turn number 5. Slingshots up the inside of Jakub Gasparovic, bit sideways from Denny Babicek, but that was someone going a bit wide, coming through turn number 6. And Jensen Chalk also finds the AstroTurf on the outside of the right-hand hairpin that then leads them onto the Europlan. There are side-by-side, there's side-by-side moments coming through turn 7 off of the Europlan through the flick-flack chicane and then into the right-hand sweeper at turn 8. 4 minutes and 50 seconds remain on the clock plus an additional lap. Ashcroft showed his prowess. He's shown his prowess here before, multiple times, but he is no longer leading because Henry Domain, running with Stan Peck's outfit at SP Motorsport, now has the lead. And it is a comfortable one at the moment. Lap 2 completed, Domain leads. It's a British 1-2 at the moment. Gap between them is 1.176 seconds. Gasparovic, Babicek, Maximov now up into 5th place. Juri Leva, Jakub Kubera, Majus Mazinas, Maxime Becker and Carlos Nees. There's a 3-way scrap coming out of turn number 2. And one of the drivers looked to possibly be, that was with a 9 at the end of it. As they're all making their way through into turn number 5 once again. And then into turn 6. Denny Babicek runs a little bit wide, and then allows the possibility of one driver to try and get through. Boris Maximov is ahead of the Czech Republic driver. As well, the Sodi kart making its way through. That was Jakub Kubera that managed to get through on Denny Babicek through turn number 6. Babicek having to fight a little bit here. Did show some good pace in the final round of the BNL karting series with a young Czech driver, younger brother to Eliska Petra and Teresa Babičková. Loses another position. Henry Domain is pulling away from Jacob Ashcroft. There's some of the, Speedy Gonzalez on the back of the race helmet. Who would have thought it? That's brilliant. Great to see some of the younger drivers bringing cartoon characters onto their race helmets. As here's a move up the inside. So Boris Maximov on the Praga chassis. That's going to be the chassis officially used by the Minimax drivers at Portimao in a couple of weeks' time. Sodi kart also one of the other providers for the grand finals, which will include the Project T20. And a nice move here. Jakub Kubera up the inside, but the over-undercut done by Boris Maximov. Just sweeps wide through into turn 6 and gets the whole shot, gets the purchase. And Mazinas is not too far behind. But all 22 drivers still circulating. Coming up to just 2.5 minutes plus an additional lap to go. And Henry Domain's lead after the last lap was 3.9 seconds. Battle coming down into turn number 10. As Maximov gets the touch from behind, courtesy of Kubera. Mazinas is closing in. Kubera gets up the inside of Maximov. And here comes Denny Babicek into the mix too. Babicek running towards the outside of Boris Maximov. I have seen moves like that before. Clayton Ravenscroft and Joe Turney in previous years of the BNL karting series. As we're heading into the final 2 minutes of the race itself. And Henry Domain's lead is now, get this, 7.2 seconds and climbing at a rapid rate of knots. This is a very good move up the inside. And that was Majus Mazinas, I believe. That was the case on Boris Maximov through into turn number 6. So 90 seconds on the timer remains. Still got plenty more of racing action, folks, so you might want to get comfortable, get your popcorn, get your soft drink or hot beverage of choice, and stick with us because we're going to be here for, pending any delays or stoppages, we'll be here just past 7 o'clock this evening with all the racing we've got all the way through the day. 70 seconds remain on the timer. Henry Domain crosses the line again. 1 minute 7.852, fastest lap of the race. Jacob Ashcroft in second position. He makes his way across the line. 1 minute 11.580, so a personal best from him. Things are closing up for Jakub Gasparovic, though, in the 197. He's got Jakub Kubera and Majus Mazinas. And side by side coming out of turn 2 between Kubera and Mazinas. Nearly got a send from Kubera up the inside of Gasparovic through into turn 4 and turn 3. And then all of a sudden, Kubera starts to gesticulate, goes a little bit sideways. Oh, that was very close indeed as Gasparovic got the traction coming out of turn number 6. And Mazinas looking towards the inside through into turn 7, has to back out of it. As we come into the final 15 seconds of the race plus an additional lap. And now Kubera is through Just depends on how much they have to modulate the throttle. As Henry Domain goes across the line, we are effectively onto the last lap board has been shown. So right on the bubble for Henry Domain, but Gasparovic is not having an easy time out there. Started well and now is battling side pod to side pod with Mažas Mazinas as the Lithuanian looking up the inside of Gasparovic, but the 197 stays resolute and remains in the position for the moment. But great slingshot there from Mazinas, who now takes fourth position. He got a great launch coming out of turn number 3, runs wide coming out of turn 6, and he's going to get the run on Gasparovic and manages to get past, and Gasparovic powerless to do anything about it. Still battling away tooth and nail through turn 7 off of the Europlana. Now Mazinas runs wide, Gasparovic back up the inside through turn 8. Mazinas gets a good launch on the exit of the corner, goes through in towards turn 9. Gasparovic is going to get the under over. They're going to be side by side, but look at the two behind. Maximov and Roberts, I think, are there. Roberts might be the one behind them, so he's managed to get past on that particular occasion. And this time we are actually being shown the last lap board. It's very nip and tuck, and Henry Domain's got a 17.257 second lead over Jacob Ashcroft, and they're squabbling behind. And that's the battle for P4, because now James Roberts is not too far behind the pair of Jakub Gasparovic and Mažas Mazinas, and Roberts looks up the inside of Gasparovic through turn 2. Gasparovic gets back, and James Roberts with a great move there through turn 3 and through turn 4. Is he going to get Gasparovic through turn 5? Not quite. A lot of throttle modulation. There's Boris Maximov. He decides to go for the inside line and nearly gets through on the lot of them, but has to lift off the throttle, hit the brakes hard, and can't get through. Our race leader is about to come across the line. Checkered flag falls, and Henry Domain picks up the opening heat victory in the Minimax class and sets the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 6.441. Still they're battling away further behind. Jacob Ashcroft comes out of the final corner, and the Brit from Weston-super-Mare will take second position in the 122. Now it's the turn of Jakub Kubera, now taking P3. Still the squabbling carries on behind. James Roberts looks to have now secured fourth place actually, because Mažas Mazinas and Jakub Gasparovic ran out the top 6. Boris Maximov, Jensen Chalk recovers from what happened earlier on the opening lap to take P8. Maxim Becker and Denny Babacek ran out the top 10 as the checkered flag falls, as it's 3 abreast a little bit further back. Probably with the likes of Len Abbas in the middle of all that three-way across the line. Jacob Ashcroft takes second position, but it was a British 1-2. And Henry Domain just absolutely unlocking the potential as he now makes his way into scrutineering. So the drivers now will get out of the carts, switch off the engines, and then go onto the weighbridge. So there is the youngster, based out of Sybil Headingham, not too far outside of Housted. There is Jacob Ashcroft. A little cheeky wave to the camera there. And that will be next up Jakub Kubera, James Roberts, and Jakub Gasparovic just behind. It goes Maximov, Jensen Chalk as they all filter their way into the into Parc Fermé scrutineering to be weighed, random checks to be done. So that's the opening race out of 24 today. Great way to start it, folks. So let's see if we can take a look at the results for Heat 1, Groups A versus B for the Minimax class. So Henry Domain winning by nearly 21 seconds after 8 laps of racing, ahead of fellow Brit Jacob Ashcroft with Jakub Kubera, James Roberts and Mažas Mazinas running out the top 5. Jakub Gasparovic, Boris Maximov, Jensen Chalk, Maxim Becker and Denny Babacek rounding out the top 10. Gleb Solovov with Leopold Jourg rounding out the top 12. Proko Sokolitsev, Yuri Leva, and Carlos Nees ran out the top 15. Eric Bransborg, Daniel Minto, Jaroslav Matrenin, Len Abbas, Ryan Rivers, Christian Stefanov, and Denmark's Joachim Ottosen round out the 22-strong field that finished all 8 laps of racing here at the Home of Champions. So for those watching at home, we're going to go to a bit of a replay. So there's Jakub Gasparovic, who started on the outside of the opening, the front row, with Jacob Ashcroft not too far behind. Becker got a really good start. Babicek was looking rather feisty in the opening part of it, but Jacob Ashcroft decided to plant his cart round the outside. Maximov was definitely in the thick of the action, especially with the 199 of the Czech Republic's Jakub Kubera. Then the 185 of Lithuania's Mažas Mazinas came in. There's Jakub Kubera gesticulating to Jakub Gasparovic coming out of the exit of turn number 4. Some great moves here, especially through turn 4. It's a bit like the triple apex left-hander at turn 7. And there is Jacob Ashcroft coming across the line, finishing in 2nd position because Henry Domain had scarpered away, probably into Germany at that rate.